In this episode, we will explore how to describe the entry-level principles of the course now that you have determined the place that course fits in the program map. In the last unit, you determined and described the principles that the learners will learn in your course and learning outcomes they should exit with. How are you going to determine what the entry principles of the course should be? At this point, you may brainstorm some principles that sound like they should be good entry-level principles, but how can you be sure they'll be useful? Here are 3 simple ways to determine what the entry-level principles should be. The first place to find the entry-level principles is in the prerequisites for the program. These are normally described as the requirements for entry into the program. These prerequisites will describe not only the entry-level principles for the program, but for each course within the program as well. Next, if the course you are designing has 1 or more prerequisite courses, then the learning outcome statements of those courses should be included in your list of entry-level principles. Take a look and see if you can find those and add them to your list. If you can't, you may need to consult with the program designers or the program map. The final place where you need to look is the list of principles that your course needs to teach, as determined in the program map. And you need to determine if there are any principles that are not documented in the other 2 sources that were assumed by the program designers. A good guiding question for you to consider is, what principles do you need the learners to understand and be able to employ before they enter this course that would not be appropriate for them to learn during this course? Can you see how answering this question will help you design a course that will successfully meet its purpose? Describing what principles you want your learners to understand and be able to employ before they start your course will establish a baseline where the learning will start. Then you can design the learning experiences that will help them move from the baseline to the learning outcome of your course. This will allow you to keep your course lean, concise, and within the scope of the purpose of the course in relation to the program map. Describing what principles the learners are to understand and be able to employ before entering the course has the following benefits. It establishes where the learners are starting at as they enter the course. It identifies how learners can prepare themselves to start the course. It clearly describes what learning is required to take place in this course from the beginning to the end. This also helps establish that learners will only be credited for what they learned in the course and not for what they learned prior to the course. Can you determine the entry-level principles of this module? How were you prepared entering into this module? In summary, the 2 principles that you should remember and be able to employ from this presentation are: 1. Courses are designed assuming that learners already understand and can employ certain principles before the course begins. And 2. It is important to identify the previously learned principles so learners can be best prepared to start the course with the appropriate prerequisite knowledge and skills.